Well, good evening, folks. This is Dave Schmidt. I'm here live tonight. This is the February 7th program and coming to you from my home here in Sedona, Arizona. And yes, I'm here. It's been a while since I can't remember the last time I did two programs 2 weeks in a row. But I'm here. All is well here in my home in Sedona today. And somebody had asked, about what's the weather like. Well, we've had a lot of snow off and on, but we did get a lot of snow last night, but it didn't stick on the ground here down in town, but the mountains all around us are filled with snow. And right now it's 36 degrees here in Sedona, but all is well, as I always like to say. All is well here in my program here tonight in Sedona. Yes, and so, okay, and thank you for all the comments that it sounds good and everything is going well. And so, wow, okay. So, with that, then I don't have really much more. Then let's just get right into what's going on. Uh, okay, program notes and workshop updates. Again, we have a workshop in Denver a week from Saturday on February 17th. We would love to have you there. We still have lots of seats that are available. And remember, as I have always said, when it comes time to get paid, I'm going back to the most recent workshop. And those that have attended, that is the order in which people get paid. And I work back from there. Okay? So if you want to get your money quick, fast, and right away when it comes out, you're going to want to attend one of the workshops there. That's there. Now, I had scheduled on the newsletter 3 weeks after that, I was going to be on March, 9th in Sedona. Well, there is a huge conference, what's called a Transformation Ascension conference going on here in Sedona on that same day for 3 days. And I don't want to compete with that, folks. I know some people would like to go to both that are here that are local. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the Sedona workshop 1 week out. So Sedona is going to be moved to March 16th. So we've got, let's see, February, uh, yeah, a week from Saturday. And then after that, 4 weeks after that, we've got Sedona. And I don't have my schedule yet for what I'm going to be doing after Sedona. I'm leaving that, going to leave that open for another couple of weeks. But I am looking tentatively after Sedona, I'm looking to go into Chicago. Okay. And then after that, Seattle. Now, those are tentatively the next two, but I've been wanting to leave my schedule open for a few things that may be developing. But don't speculate on that, what that means, okay? It's just other stuff that's going on, okay? All right, so that's the scoop there. Now, regarding the currency exchange, there is no new update specifically, and as I've always said, the funders never pre-announce when the funds will be released. They don't give us any hints, and they do that for security reasons because of the fact that there's groups out there, what we call the cabal, that don't want this to happen, and they would love to disrupt this process. And everything that we are being told is that the cabal knows they cannot stop the funds from coming out, but they can create some chaos around that. So that's why it's important that you listen to the programs here, you be aware of that, and we'll kind of give you some clues of what you can do and stuff like that to be able to make sure everything is safe for you. So they're going to try to create some chaos around all this, and you don't want to make this be chaotic for you, and I don't want it to be chaotic for me. But uh, I am now approaching close to 4,000 clients that I have that I'm going to be paying money out to. So that's building up there. Now, with that note, my funders are saying there is still room for more people to come in and to purchase the dong. So if you want to purchase more dong, send me an email. Now, the default one I send back is basically I send one where you can purchase 5 million dong for $312. That's one of the default ones. But the others, if you want less than that, tell me in the email how much you want, and I send you a link where it's $62 per 1 million dong. Now remember, the dong is scheduled to pay out at $1.50 per dong. Now it was about, what was it, a month ago, I said that there were going to be some bonds that were available. Well, they have brought in a few more. I have room for about 6 more people to purchase bonds if you want to do that. And the bonds again are $1,100, and I send you a link. Now, they don't have the exact payback on the bonds. They will tell us they are guaranteed to be at least $1 million, but they will probably be upwards somewhere closer to 8 to 10 million. Now that's what we're being told, but they will not guarantee that, because see, bonds can change their payout based on the individual bond, how old it is, how many coupons are out, and stuff like that. So, and I don't know what, where, and when, but all I know is that the bonds are currently being held in Hong Kong, and that's where they're physically present. You're not going to see the bond. The bond is not going to be sent to you. It's just the same as when you purchase currencies. You basically are paying me. I send that money to the funders. They then have me on record as being having purchased the bond, and then you are in my account as being a bond holder, so that that bond will get paid out to you through me. It's done the same way as the dong currency, folks. That's just what it is. It's just that some people like bonds because bonds are more secure. Bonds, if anything happens, bonds always get paid before currencies are paid. If a bank goes through where they're having problems and maybe failing, they will always pay their bond holders before they pay their account holders. So bonds are just more secure in the process, and some people like that. Okay, all right. So that's the scoop there. Okay, now what in the world is going on out there? I've been sharing in the workshops, and I've been sharing on some of the programs. We really have a period of time that we're moving into where there's going to be probably a lot of chaotic events taking place. Now, that's coming from Ben Fulford. He's been very clear about that. It's coming from Barbara Marciniak and the Palladians, and it's even coming from others. And there are financial experts that are saying that we're very likely going to see a form of a massive economic downshift, if not a collapse. Now, that doesn't mean that the banks totally fail, but it means there's going to be a lot of chaos. But some banks might fail. And here, and I've shared this before, the mainstream media news is not telling you this, but people are starting to massively pull their cash out of banks. What was it, a year and a half, 2 years ago, that the Silicon Valley Bank went under? That created a lot of fear in people. They saw a lot of people lose their money. And so what people are doing, they don't feel good about their cash sitting, large sums of cash, what I call discretionary money, sitting in banks, and they're pulling them out. Now, so then and I have encouraged you to do the same with your discretionary funds. Those are the funds that you don't need to live on a regular basis. So what are the options? 1, purchase bonds. 2, purchase gold. Number 3, purchase silver. Or number 4, you can put it into cryptocurrencies. Now, cryptocurrencies, see, it's an alternate form of a currency, so it's not held in banks. But yet, at the end of the day, if you want cash out of your cryptocurrency, you basically need to change it from one of the cryptos into your US dollar account in your crypto account, and then from there you move your US dollars into your bank account. There are some businesses that are accepting cryptocurrencies, and there are some cryptocurrency companies such as Coinbase that allows you to have a cryptocurrency debit card. It's a debit card that goes, and you can use that in most places. There are a lot of places that will accept the cryptocurrency debit cards. Not all of them do, because they're not convinced yet that the cryptocurrency world is all that safe and real. But so that's kind of the scoop of what's going on. And in spite of the fact that there's a lot of kind of chaotic stuff that is developing, there's also a lot of good stuff that is going on. there's a lot of great opportunities taking place. There's a lot of people that are starting to wake up. And that's the positive side of all this chaos, is that it's helping people to wake up of what's really going on in this world. I just saw a report come out yesterday that these crazy people at the World Economic Forum, and I call them the Billionaire Bad Boys Club, that they are trying to shut down the farming industry, first of all in Europe. They were trying to shut down the farming industry and put the farming industry out of business. Why? They want to stop food production because they want to control and shift how we live our lives. And they are wanting us to stop eating basically protein meats. They're wanting to stop the vegetables and the food production of the farmers. And they're wanting us to start eating bugs. So here was the positive note that took place in the article that I read. Because the farmers had so collectively come together, they brought their tractors and they did massive protest. There were literally scores of thousands of tractors on the freeways in Europe, and they shut the freeways down. Then they went into some of the big cities and they literally had their tractors with their trailers filled with their fertilizer, i.e. manure, cow poop. And they started shooting that out onto all of the buildings surrounding the governments. So they started shooting out all the cow poop, all the manure onto the buildings, telling them, we're not going to put up with your shit. And if you're going to try to deal with this, we'll just turn around and give our shit right back to you. And the positive thing was, what the report was, the World Economic Forum gave in. They began to recognize that it was because of what they were trying to do that the masses, the everyday front people, collectively went against them, and they realized the people were starting to turn against them, and they were losing their power and their control, and so they realized, we better back off. So that's what's happened in Europe. There is some talk that there is possibility that the farmers here in the United States might be ready to do the same thing should they try to make that happen here as well. So, yes, there's a lot of chaotic stuff that is going on. But the purpose for us, remember, and I've shared this in the past, we live in this world, how quantum physics tells us it's a holographic illusion. Now, what does that mean? It means the only thing that you experience is because you choose to believe it and see it as real. So what do we do in that scenario, in that situation? Instead of making the scenario real, you become the observer of the event versus the participant of the event. You don't participate in the energy of the event. You just let it be there. And everything I'm beginning to see is when you start to take that on, when you start to take on and realizing the world we live in is a holographic illusion, technically, from quantum physics, it's not a real world. All it is that we are here to have these experiences, and the key is how do you process the information that is coming at you. And our job is to be perceivers, just to perceive it and let it be, and don't get involved in the drama. Why is that? Because when you choose to not involve yourself in the drama of this low vibrational matrix world, your vibrational energy stays stronger, stays higher, and when you're in that place, your perception opens up. Your consciousness expands, and you begin to see and perceive everything differently, and you become stronger as an individual, and then you have that ability to rise above whatever drama comes at us. That's the positive sign in all of this. So the key is your focus and your perception, and to basically stay in that scenario. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to share about 7 minutes of, okay, where did it go here? There we are. I'm going to share about 7 minutes from a, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay. From a recent, just a recent recording from Barbara Marciniak and the Palladians. Now, in the recent program, I think this was their, what is today? It might have been the February 1st program or somewhere around there. It's been in the last week, somewhere in there. And their programs usually always go about an hour and 20 minutes. So this one starts at about the 54 to 55 minute mark. So let's listen to this, okay?
From a bigger picture, another perspective and point of view, one could say that all this breakdown and turmoil and chaos, rebellion and fleeced again and oh no, broken and all of this, it is to stir the people of earth into a new realization about what is really important. And over the last century and more, perhaps 2 centuries, you have become enamored of the physical world, enamored of materiality, enamored of sneakers that cost $300, $400, $500, enamored of things that you really don't need. And you have lost contact as a people all over the world with the majesty and the brilliance of nature. Nature's just there. Oh, the sun's up. Oh, the sun's down. Oh, there's the moon. But you've lost communication. You've lost the elders who used to show you the spiritual way. Oh, there's still some there. But many of the elders today, whether they are running for presidents or refusing to give up their positions of power, they have become exceedingly corrupt, exceedingly sexual, sleazy, and just hunting for money and control and power. And as all things go in the annals of time, when you go against the brilliance of nature and the spirituality of existence, existence has a way of rebelling back, of creating situations that bring people into greater appreciation, gratitude, humility, all those kinds of things. So, as we like to say, it is up to each of you. You think, you dream, you intend, you have ideas. These all are filling the field of existence. The majority of people on earth want peace. Yet so many people feel entitled to have their own way as the only way. And that if you don't follow their way, you must be evil or demonized or worse, exterminated. These are very, very, very unproductive ways of being. And they're not going to create good endings. Violence only begets violence. Stealing only brings more stealing to the person who does the stealing. You want to go in and grab whatever you want and take it without working for it, then you're going to set up a karma situation where that's going to happen to you again and again. Remember, it's always been true that what you do comes back to you. Sometimes it could take a long, long, long time for everything to line up to return. Sometimes the returns are just fantastic, and sometimes there's big reckoning. During the years of acceleration, 1987 through 2012, we said everything's going faster and faster and faster. Technology will go faster and faster and faster, and your nervous system will have to adjust to more information and take on things faster and faster, but also what you do will come back to you faster and faster and faster and faster. These next few years, you are going to witness almost instantaneous return. As you know, it pays to do good and be good. It pays to focus on the goodness of life, because life is good. Life is more than good. Life is magnificent. It is magnanimous. It is a joy and a gift and a wonder. Life is good. And when you invest in that, the rewards will be fantastic. So there's reckonings around the corner, but as you move into Pluto, into Aquarius, there's also some big discoveries waiting in the wings, or some big revelations about helping people out from an honest, legitimate point of view. Things that can change the paradigm of how life unfolds. But everyone's going to have to want to be on a similar page. Right now, you can't imagine what could possibly unify you when the gods and the rulers and the globalists and the parties and the beliefs, everything wants to separate you. Yes. But there are events that you have no idea of. Paranormal events, meaning events that are outside the range of what you consider to be 3D reality, beyond the material world, the supernatural, paranormal, spiritual world that is totally viable and real, and that has good players and not so good players. That world is going to make the big difference. Things that cannot be named or identified at this time. Things that can just turn the tide of events. And keep your faith, friends. Keep your belief in the idea that everything can work out in your favor.
Okay, that's what I wanted to share. And she has a lot of really nice, good comments that she is making in there. If I can just kind of focus on a few of them in the beginning, she said, the chaos that is going on around us, it's all designed and it's helpful to help people wake up. Now, yes, she said that our world is becoming enamored in materiality. And it's important that we don't get caught up into that. We still need material things, yes, to exist and to go about our daily life, but we don't put our value into those, because what it does, it keeps us stuck into that perspective of how we live out our lives. And she said everything is speeding up, and that means when you start doing good, there's going to be more instantaneous return coming back to you, because she said life is good. Life is good. In spite of the chaos around us, life is good, and we want to be investing in that. And folks, that's really, remember what I said, is the real purpose of this currency exchange is not so that you can go out and become a multimillionaire and you can then fall back into a survival mode and say, I'm okay, but my neighbors aren't. No, it's designed for us. Now, take care of yourself and your families first, of course, but it's designed for us to be givers, to help others in the midst of all this chaos. As the chaos is going on around us, we get to be the ones that say, life is good. Now let me help you how you can experience life being good as well. So those are kind of the things that I've wanted to share with you tonight on the program. If some of you want to call in, if you've got some questions or comments, again, the call-in number is 515-605-9356. Again, 515-605-9356. And folks, I forgot to say this. When I sent out the newsletter and I said, click here to listen to the radio program, I forgot to change that from last week's program. But on the newsletter, you can still click on the Sedona Connection, and that brings you to this week's Blog Talk radio program. And yes, it is working. Blog Talk is doing fine. I just gave the wrong link, so some of you probably have that, because there's 25 people right now listening on Blog Talk Radio. So, but if anybody would like to call in, or if you've got some questions that you would have, again, the number is 515-605-9356, and we'll give it here another minute or two, and then if I don't get anybody, then we'll go ahead and call it an evening, because again, what I like to do, I like to keep the programs 25 to 35 minutes. That way it's easier for you to listen to, and they don't go on forever, and you don't have to listen to multiple times, because most of you are still working your jobs and you just don't have that much time all the time. But also remember, when I have the program here on Facebook, I always save it, and then the next day I send that out to you, the live recording, the video recording. I send it out to you, the next day, through the newsletter as well. So, okay, I am not seeing anybody that's raising their hand. So I guess we're probably ready to call it an evening tonight, folks. So I want to thank you all for joining us this week. I plan on being back next week. Oh my gosh, 3 weeks in a row. So, all right. Thanks a lot, folks. We'll see you next week, okay? All right. Bye-bye.